We'll get yanked off YouTube if I actually play that though.
Yes, that's
copyrighted
material. Right?
Good thing you turned it off right as it went live.
Yeah, for real, right?
We are so
they'll be pulling us right away. Like,
especially nowadays. Well, the real question is was that original or was that remake?
Oh yeah, no, that's the original. I got I got a remake too. My ringtone is actually that.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, I think Tony's out, so you guys want to get this started?
Well, since we're live,
whatever you want.
Do whatever I want.
Let's do whatever you want.
Raggle Fraggle. That must be Zane.
No, I'm not Raggle Fraggle.
Okay.
I gotta get to the YouTube shit. Hang on. I'm gonna let me just.
No, I'm not live recording, on YouTube, but it's live.
We are live. Hey,
we do what we want.
No, I haven't started recording.
We go through before the show starts.
Yeah, we wait for Zane to get his headphones situated, him to get on YouTube and
stop being a dumbass.
That never happens. So,
I mean,
he mutes himself now.
Schmuck.
I always mute before we go live, so I don't fuck up the intro.
Schmuck. Hey, I'm feeling left out because you're drinking, Chad's drinking, Zane's drinking, Rob was drinking. Rob finished his drink. Should I go get a drink so I can be drinking with you too?
Yeah, you probably should.
You probably should because Zane drinks stuff like Budweiser or something.
I've been drinking since like 3.
Some fancy beer or something.
Oh, you got an IPA? No, the only thing I've got is Octashot.
IPAs are pumpkin spice for dudes.
No, because they sell them year round.
No,
that is disgusting.
That's pumpkin spice for dudes.
No.
Go get you a drink, Rob.
Are you going to get a drink or not before we start this?
Chad's going to do the intro. And before we do the intro, I'd just like to say, if you're watching live, that there's going to be some foul language in this episode. Because
we're going to try to keep it down, but Zane's been drinking since.
I've been drinking for a while. And we're talking about something that looks just like a dick. So there's that.
Yeah, so that's what you're
doing. What the hell, man? What do you mean you don't like Glocks? How do you not like Glocks? Raggy, what is it? Raggle Fraggle. How do you not like Glocks?
He's an M&P fan. He's got to be.
I like M&Ps too. That's the thing. I'm an equal opportunity, gunslinger, unless it's Springfield.
There he goes. Rob's back now.
I am back.
Let's do the damn thing. Let's do it. Go on mute and now.
Let me get started. Okay. Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 247. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else the gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and all things firearms related. In this show, we'll be discussing a slingshot, some red dot, and another trigger. Tonight on the podcast, we have Zane and Rob, and no Tony because he doesn't know about his spotty internet or whatever. So what did you guys do in firearms or something related?
I just got out of my busy season with work, so I did not have time to do anything in firearms over the last couple weeks because, again, I prefer having a job and having toys and living in poverty. So, because I do not do well in unemployment and homeless,
Well, Rob, let me say something. I know that's not true because earlier, before we went live, you did something firearms related.
What did I do firearms related?
Didn't you sign up for a class?
Oh, I did.
That's right.
Yeah. That's not done. That's doing future tense.
Well, but you signed up, so that part's done.
But you did it on the internet, and that's the most important part.
Oh my, yes, this whole interweb thingy where you can, and for all this time I thought the only thing internet was good for was pornography.
It's good for that.
Whatever. How about you, Zane?
I did a couple things actually, and Tony's in the chat.
Yeah, I see
that. Not on the podcast, but he's in the chat. What's up, Tony? So we did our annual Friends of NRA banquet. last Saturday. And by last Saturday, I mean like 2 days ago. And so, we do that once a year. And if you're not familiar with Friends of NRA, it's a organization that raises funds, that gives grants to youth shooting organizations and things like that. So that was cool. We raised quite a bit of money for that. I had a good time. Always have a good time. And then not necessarily firearms related, but since we have a off-road podcast on the Firearms Radio Network, I also changed out a wheel bearing on a deck buggy on the front end of a Dana 60 front end deck buggy, which is, again, not firearms related, but since we have an off-road podcast, I figure it's worth mentioning. And I still have some grease on me from that because I just got done. So
I don't know. Is that really firearms related? Can we mount a firearm on it, or?
Absolutely.
Oh,
we use it for hunting, and I was carrying a gun the entire time.
Podcasts on the network. And going off-road, you can go off-road and go hunting or go enjoying nature. So yes, and you'll go sport shooting, and yes, it's firearms related. Chad, come on, give me a break.
I mean, we use the buggy for hunting, and I was carrying a gun the entire time. So for people who say appendix carry isn't comfortable, I was literally upside down in all kinds of contorted positions, carrying a firearm the whole time. So it works.
Yeah, when I work on cars and stuff, I don't take it off.
I had pants on and I had a belt on, therefore I had a firearm on.
That's good, because we would not want to see you without it.
The firearm or pants?
Either way.
Okay.
I gotcha. See, now I didn't do anything firearms related. I did stuff gear related, kind of. They had the Blade Show West up in Portland, so I went to that. Talked to some people about, some cool knives, and saw Tony's buddies there at Crudo Knives. They're pretty nice, I must admit. Saw this product that we're going to talk about here a little bit later. Zane will probably bring up some pizza cutter or something like that, but it was a good show. I liked it. Made some good connections. Hopefully we'll get some knives and stuff to review for you guys, because who doesn't like knives? Well, I guess we're out of that stuff. So, announcements. Episode 250 will be our listener question show. Please send in your questions however you want to send them. We accept them in all forms, unless you send them to Zane and they might get lost. Bandwidth sponsor is Patriot Patch Co. There might be new patches. I totally didn't even look today because, why not? But join their Patch of the Month Club. You can get cool patches. My patch is somewhere else, but I got the Ghost Gun sticker here for you guys to see. I will mention that when I was up at the knife show, I did meet somebody that worked with our Ryan Cross of Patriot Patch Co. So I took a selfie with her and sent it to him, and he's like, "What?" But he doesn't listen anymore. So,
well, while the patches aren't new, they've recently been advertising those Dangerous to Go Alone patches again.
Yes, I saw that.
Those are still really cool patches.
They are really cool patches.
I like the Barrett one, and they're done in what is it? Is it 56K? I'm not a tech guy. I don't know what it's called, but it's 8-bit. That's what it's called. 8-bit.
Yeah.
8-bit. I don't know how this stuff works, but
I had one on my name tag when I was up at the knife show, and one of the kids, there was a kid there. I was talking to his dad, and he was like, he's like, "Hey, that's pretty cool. That's like a Zelta one." And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Hit your parents up and maybe they'll get you one." And the guy was standing there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, they made my patches for me, so I know who they are." So
yeah.
It was.
I'm probably gonna get the shotgun or the Barrett one. It's Dangerous to Go Alone.
Yeah, I have the AR one and the AK one, and I think I have another one, but I don't know. I'd have to go look. Let's see. You can also, we have our GunTech USA affiliate link on the firearmsinsider.tv website. So if you want to buy stuff from them, go through there first. We also have our Amazon affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. And if you want to donate to Tony's Diversity Shoot, and you can go shop Black Bag Resources and use the code 2A4E. And all of that stuff in your cart will be donated to him if you use that code.
And he's pimping that currently in the comments.
Yeah, I know.
Man, he's always pimping that.
Well,
but it's something Tony. To pimp. And a rep.
Hey, Tony, the Kudrow Knives guy and lady said to say hi. So they make some pretty nice knives too. I was eyeing them. Rob, it's all yours.
Here we go. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows. This goes double for the shows tonight, and we're going to be talking about Falcon parts, and triply when Zane and Chad have been drinking since 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Hey, I've only been drinking since like 5:30.
Okay.
I'm not like Zane.
Whatever. It's 2 o'clock Eastern.
Whatever.
8:30 Eastern for you old guys.
So Zane's been drinking since what, noon, 1, something like that?
So he said something like that. I didn't pay attention.
Yeah, roughly 3.
Yeah, whatever. Same.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay. Blah, blah, blah. So we gave you your warning. So first
we have no main talk, let's go talk about the slingshot.
Let's talk about it.
In our product spotlight and discussion is, I'm guessing it's the Oak Forge Nut Shot Slingshot. And I put the handful size in the show notes, not the chode size. They both have an MSRP of $45 though. What they are is they're an over-the-top style slingshot, which has a name that I'm looking for because a pickle fork slingshot style. They have a bottle opener built into them, and they look like a penis. So, this is why we put a warning in here, because with Zane drinking, we're not sure what he can say, but I don't want to have to go through and bleep it. What it is they're an aluminum slingshot. You can get them with or without the bottle opener, but hey, if you open your bottle with it, then you can shoot the bottle cap at somebody. That's what I figured.
First of all, why would you not get this without the bottle cap?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Secondly, it looks exactly like a penis.
It does. It is.
And it's called the Nut Shot, and it's called a handful. So, size. I'm pretty sure there were innuendos built into the naming
of
this device. We're not the guys who came up with this.
No, but of course they are from Oregon, so I'm not even going to say anything. It's made from aluminum. You can get different anodized colors. You can get the standard aluminum color, gold, red, black, or purple. So it's $45. As normal, length is 4 3/8 inches. Width maximum is 2 3/8. Thickness is 0.317. It weighs 3.6 ounces.
I can't.
You all this. I mean,
you talk about the thickness and the weight.
I had to. Okay.
I can't. I just.
I mean, these guys make some awesome stuff. That's all I'm going to say. This is just hilarious.
The freaking waiver. If anybody's listening at this point, I don't want to hear it.
Listen, so when I first looked in the show notes, I had every intention to come on the podcast and totally trash this product, as I've known to do. However, after going to their Instagram feed, they actually make some really cool stuff. I'm not a fan of pickle fork slingshots because of like hand strikes, which I guess is like the equivalent of a baffle strike with a can. But if those of you don't know, pickle fork slingshots have the stubby forks on them. They sit really low, and you basically shoot the ball bearing or whatever ammo over the top of your hand, as opposed to the full length forks, which we're all familiar with that we had when we were kids. So I'm not really a big fan of these because I feel like I'd hurt myself. I'd rather have a full length fork. I I can't even. I'm trying to be professional here.
We warned people. So.
I prefer a full length forks on my slingshots. But I don't think the slingshot is what we need to be talking about. They have some stuff on their Instagram. They have a pizza cutter that is probably the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I don't care what it costs. I want one.
They are awesome looking because I saw all this.
They got cutters out of stock, right?
It's like they're out of stock right now. It's made out of like solid like brass or copper or something. It's got like Damascus steel blade. Cool. And it's totally cool. No, but the company makes some really, really cool stuff. I know Chad picked this because he wanted tons of phallic jokes, and he's going to get them. But
I know.
But the company totally makes some awesome things. Like some of their knives I was looking at, while a lot of them aren't necessarily what I would call practical, and I'm a big practical person. A lot of them are like mini cleavers, which are cool for like prying and stuff. So I want to get something of theirs to review on this podcast. I'm going to get some of them. I don't know. They make some really cool stuff. This little pickle fork phallic thing is not on the top of my list of things to get from them, though.
Well, that's the thing is, whoever's listening, I think that. I think Zane needs one of these. So if you want to buy one for him and send it to him, I will tell me and I will give you his address. But I talked to the guy that designed these and stuff, and it's pretty cool. They make all kinds of stuff. They are a forge. They're here in Oregon, so I figured I'm going to give these guys some perks here, and well. It is considered an assault weapon in New Jersey. So,
well, Tony just commented that their mini cleavers look great, and I have to absolutely agree. That's their little mini cleavers, the Damascus mini cleavers they have, and that's a great utility tool. Also, like it may not be good for like stabbing people or whatever, but for prying and maybe entering places that you don't supposed to be entering into. Awesome tool. And they got Damascus blades and they got little bone. Go look at their Instagram. They got all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, the stuff on their Instagram is better. It shows more of what they do in better pictures than
so their website kind of sucks. So if you're listening, your website sucks and you need to fix your website. Your Instagram,
you need to put your stuff that you make like pizza cutters on there.
Your Instagram is on point though. I started following you today. Okay, in case you didn't realize that. So, but your website needs work. Sorry.
Hey, we're honest here.
We're honest here, man.
We're honest. So, I guess we pretty much. Let's see. I'm gonna try to make this PC. Did away with that one.
Did we say anything that needs bleep at all yet?
No, I don't think so.
All right, well, let me just go ahead and ruin that. It looks like a dick, people. Now you got work to do.
No, because I'm not going to worry about it. We warned him this time.
No, I warned him 4 times.
Exactly.
3 times in the intro, and once when we got into this thing.
Yes.
So it's maybe the coolest slingshot I think you could ever own.
This I think tops Tony's. A2 bottle openers.
Oh yeah. So if you get a bottle open,
right,
I don't know what you're doing with your life. Okay, because I tried to get on my. Okay, am I good now?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you get the one without the bottle opener, I don't know what you're doing with your life. You're just wrong. But get the one with the bottle opener. So like Chad said, you can literally shoot the bottle caps at all your friends, and it'll be
like that game you play Apple Core.
For real.
The Apple Core game.
Okay. Well, we'll get next up on our list of.
Dude, come on! You're talking to somebody who used to have Roman candle fights growing up.
Oh no, Rob's going on and on. How old are you, Rob?
Old enough, no better, but not to know what the heck I'm doing.
Yeah, that's what I
There's
figured.
a country song about it, but I'm not going to sing it because I'll get in trouble and we'll get kicked off of Facebook.
Well,
Google and
the
all that
thing
stuff.
is we don't want you to sing anyway. So,
No.
I mean, you
Dude,
probably
Zane
sing
was
better
freaking
than Zane.
serenading us before this thing started. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's
Ugh.
not the best singer. He should just stick to guitars.
Yep. It's true.
Next up is the Strike Industries new Glock trigger with an MSRP of $44.95 to $46.95, depending on if you want colors. Basically, this is an aluminum flat trigger for a Glock. It does not come with a trigger bar. So the little flipper safety, whatever you want to call it, is larger. This is all aluminum, so the price isn't terrible. Basically, it comes in all their standard colors of black, blue, FDE, and red, like everything else we talk about of theirs. It doesn't change the pull weight or anything like that. It weighs 0.2 ounces, so it's nothing really. It's basically a flat replacement trigger. I threw it in here because the price is decent. Glock plastic triggers, some people like them, but most people don't. I just like the fact that it's aluminum. It's going to be better. It's inexpensive for what you get. I can't really say anything bad about it. They do mention in here that it is compatible with pre-travel reductions without modification to the frame or safety. So I'm guessing that if you have some sort of pre-travel adjustment, the little flapper deal doesn't hit the frame until later in the trigger pull stroke. But it's another one of these. It's kind of like the sights we talked about. It's
not the safety tab. The idea of it being compatible with that is it doesn't disengage any of the internal safeties. That little flap is going to be on its own spring. So
yeah. Right, but the distance sometimes they short, like a Glock one is pretty long, so if you pull the trigger without pulling the little flap,
all that tab is for, that little tab up front, which most people don't realize, all that basically is the drop safety. It doesn't allow the trigger to continue to travel forward when the gun's dropped, like SIGs used to be.
And it engages before the
trigger
pin.
That's just a little
before the firing pin block and the plunger.
You have to squeeze that. It removes up that little tab in the back so you can move the trigger back. That's all it does. It allows you to move the trigger back.
Right. But it's
just the same thing on MMPs, except there's the actual trigger has a hinge. The trigger mechanism has a hinge on it.
Right.
And hinges are stupid.
That's right. The little flapper.
We're not talking Glock, so everything's stupid.
So these trigger shoes are they remind me of the Overwatch Precision trigger shoes very much, because I have one, and so I'm sure they work just fine. I'm not sure why they don't come with like a trigger bar and all that stuff, but yeah, I mean it's a flat face trigger. If you like flat face triggers, which I do.
Yeah, and everybody seems to be making Glock triggers now, but like I said, in my opinion, if it's an aluminum trigger, flat, curved, whatever you like, it's probably going to be better than the plastic one and give you better feel.
Well, the other thing is it doesn't actually do anything for the smoothness because there's no trigger bar in there. And so it's not going to smooth out the trigger pull. So even with like a lot of aftermarket triggers, it's not going to reduce your pull weight at all. But a lot of times they will smooth out or reduce the travel but this does none of that. It does none. It's literally just a shoe. It's not even going to give you a different feel. It's literally just a shoe. It's just how your finger contacts a trigger. No, it's mostly cosmetic in nature.
No, because the Glock triggers, unless they changed them recently, they've got kind of like a step-up design where as you get to the center of the trigger, it's almost like a little pyramid deal.
They don't. Yes. They have changed those. They still do those. So you're talking about the serrated blade versus the smooth blade.
I've yet to purchase an original Glock with a good trigger on it. Their triggers suck.
Well,
It's usually the first thing I strip out and change.
Their smooth face trigger isn't bad, the actual trigger face, but the pull length and pull weight is not affected by this shoe. Right. So we need to make it really clear that this is literally just how your finger feels on the pad of the trigger.
Exactly.
Nothing.
And to me, this is going to feel way better than the original Glock factory trigger.
Probably, if you're not a fan of the serrated trigger, which they also make smooth triggers. I have one of each.
Yeah, I was going to say I have a smooth one also, and I'm still not a fan of it because I don't know. It's something about the plastic.
The thing with this would be, this is like looking at a curved trigger for an AR-15 versus a flat trigger.
Yeah,
that's basically what you're looking at.
And it's aluminum.
And Zane's probably going to argue with me on some stupid point.
I'm with the aluminum feels better, more robust, I guess. Even with over the plastic trigger. I don't know. There's something about the plastic that I just don't like.
So I prefer an aluminum flat face trigger. So this would be right up my alley, except for I would just rather already have the trigger bar that comes with the reduced pull because I have like a finger injury that doesn't. I like shorter length of pull.
Here's the bottom line: to change out the trigger, you're gonna have to take that bar out anyway. So you might as well change the bar.
And while you're doing that, you might as well change if you're looking, depending on what you're looking for. If you'd want a good trigger and it's not a duty gun or a carry gun, change out the trigger if you want. Change out the bar. Change out the disconnector and all that stuff. So, but like for a carry gun, you just want a better trigger shoe. This is kind of the way to go.
Well, even in that sense, though, the thing is like, so in my carry gun, I have an Overwatch precision trigger in there. It's a flat face aluminum trigger, and it doesn't reduce the pull weight.
Right.
It is slightly smoother,
yes.
And it has a reduced length of pull because it doesn't remove any of the, but it comes with the trigger bar. I still have the standard OEM connector in there. So I just kind of wish they would just put a transfer bar in with it. I just feel like, I don't know, but for the price, for just a shoe, that's not bad. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're literally looking to do for cosmetic purposes, or like Rob said, just a better feel of the pad of your finger on the trigger, sure. But I don't really care what the trigger face feels like so much as I care about what the trigger feels like. So, I don't know.
But like you said, this is not going to reduce the pull.
It's not going to do anything other than change the look of it and how your finger feels when you first touch it.
Right. It won't smooth it out. It won't shorten it unless they change the geometry on it. But it doesn't say it did. So
doesn't look like it did.
No.
The other thing you want to watch for is the roll pin in the tab safety. There are certain trigger brands. I'm not going to name names because I think everyone probably knows what I'm talking about. That they can walk overuse, and there was one that walked so far that it was contacting the holster during reholstering and actually caused the gun to negligently discharge during reholstering because the roll pin walked out.
For $50, you could get a whole trigger assembly for a Glock.
From who?
From the gun store I used to go to when I was in North Carolina.
A factory Glock one?
Well, not a factory one. No, this is a replacement, a drop-in replacement trigger assembly.
For $50?
Yeah.
Huh?
I ain't seen one.
Yeah,
I'll take your word for it. You're looking,
but it's
looking at about 100
it's
for
plastic.
Oh, well.
It's not aluminium. It's plastic.
Aluminium. Okay, go back to England. Go back to England.
If you want an agency or an Overwatch or a
no.
Yeah.
Whomever, you're going to pay $100. But it comes with the transfer bar and
and if you were to buy a transfer bar, I mean, you're looking at probably around $100 by the time you.
And the reality is, you can go online, Google Glock trigger swap out, boom. There's like a million videos on how to do it. You don't need to take the armorer's class, and you don't need to pay somebody $50 to swap it out.
That being said, disclaimer: there are some terrible videos on YouTube that teach you to like legit remove metal and stuff, which don't
I don't think. Yeah, yeah, I don't think so.
Don't do that.
Now, what about the ones that say polish them? You ever tried that?
It depends on how you polish. If you're polishing with a legit polishing compound that's going to remove metal, you got to be very careful. If you're just using a Q-tip with some polishing compound, sure. But if you getting in there with a Dremel and a wheel, yeah, you're probably gonna F some things up.
It's so much easier, and they're not expensive either. Just to buy a polished trigger bar. I mean, if you wanted to go that route.
The trigger I have in my gun was just under, I think it was $100, and it comes with a polished coated trigger bar
and an
aluminum trigger.
Right. You just basically take the old one out, put the new one in. Yeah. With this, there's a little more, but yeah, you guys get it. So
there's nothing wrong with this trigger. I just think that you'd be better served buying one that's, ready to just drop in.
And I'm with, it really depends on what you want. If you're into the custom stuff and you literally want this trigger bar and a different trigger, and sure. And it's not like you're going to be out a lot of money to buy this trigger by itself.
I mean, I'll totally probably pick one up to play around with in one of my guns just to see, but I don't foresee it feeling any different than a stock trigger.
Go to a gun store that does a lot of turnover and Glocks and see if they have a Glock with with a flat trigger in it and try it out.
Oh, I know I like a flat trigger, but I'm just saying.
Well, I'm saying for the people at home that might be listening to this on the interwebby thingy.
The interwebby thingy.
Yeah, the interwebby thingy. That's a highly technical term.
I see how you guys are, the interwebby thingy. Well, next up, because, I just couldn't resist because everybody seems to be making them now. Crimson Trace decided they wanted to get into the red dot market. They also opted to get into the optics market, but we're not talking about that one here. So we're talking about their new CTS 1000 red dot, which is more of the rifle size micro red dot, with an MSRP of $329. They also are making micro little ones for like pistols and stuff like that. So you can go look them at. It's a 2 MOA dot, as most of them are, it seems like. No magnification. It uses my favorite type of CR2032 battery. It says the battery life is up to 9 years. It doesn't say on what, if it's on like 5 or 3 or 10.
I'm going to assume that's on night vision 1 setting.
I'm assuming it's not night vision 1 setting. It's on like 3. It's shock, dust, impact, fog resistant. It is made from aluminum. Let's see. It does come with a quick disconnect pick rail mount with a co-witness height. It has 10 levels of brightness. It says with intelligent power management, but I could not find what the intelligent power management was. I'm wondering,
that just means it wasn't designed for the U.S. Congress.
No, I'm speculating that it has an auto off and a shake to wake up, and that's how they can get 9 years of battery life out of it. But since it doesn't say, I'm just speculating.
I'm hoping that's what it means, but I'm going to assume it probably means it actually just has an auto shut off.
Yeah, which it could be, but you got to figure.
I hope you're right that it has a shake on feature, but I'm going to assume it probably isn't. But they don't say. There's nothing here.
Right. I even downloaded their, manual or data sheet or whatever it was, and I couldn't find it on there. I was like, okay, but you got to think like the HoloSuns, some of theirs have an auto off, auto wake feature, but even the ones that don't, they're like an aim point. You get 50,000 hours of battery life, which is what, 5-6 years, something like that. If it has an auto off and also an auto on, I could see him getting 9 years out of it. But Not that these batteries are super expensive, but it does have free batteries for life.
Okay, that was my question. I couldn't find that anywhere. I don't know where you found that at. Because their laser sites do. But
Yeah,
they're
it's
free
down at the
laser.
bottom.
But it's kind of like they send.
Hey, Zane, it's like the next to last bullet in the explanation below. Way in the bottom.
Okay, I see. So their free batteries for life thing with their lasers is more of like we'll send you a battery a year. If you use it more than that, like it ain't. But it's way better than nothing. Crimson Trace is probably I would say probably the name in lasers when it comes to visible lasers for handguns.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking about for rifles or IR stuff, no, they're not the name. But when we're talking about visible lasers for handguns, Crimson Trace is probably the only brand that I would trust right now. Full disclosure, I have very, very, very little use with any laser products because I'm not a big fan of lasers. So I'm going to
lasers are great for driving my cat's nuts.
Well, I don't have cats because I'm a man. So there's that.
Discriminatory to kitty cats.
I am kitties. Very much so. Real men have dogs. I'm hesitant on this product. I want to think it's going to be built quality, but we just don't know. They've only built lasers before, so
right.
I don't want to trash it, but I don't want to praise it. I don't want to. I don't want to do either one. I want to say it's probably, like I said, in that price range. It's going to be competing with the MRO, and what else is in that price range? Some of the higher end Hollow Suns.
Yeah. Some of the higher end.
Even most of the Hollow Suns and the Vortex are going to be a little cheaper than that. Maybe the SIGs, but I've not been too impressed with those. So it's got to compete with pretty much the Trijicon RMO. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty high bar. So like I said, I guess we'll see. They got a pretty decent reputation for making lasers. Again, I've not played with many of their lasers because I'm not a huge fan of lasers. At least visible lasers.
I'm with you, but my guess is since they do have such a good reputation with their lasers that typically it's harder. My understanding is it's harder to make a laser than it is to make like a red dot sight because of what it is, the way the laser diode works. But I'm not an expert. But I'm guessing because it is Crimson Trace, I don't think they're going to make anything terrible. So yeah, we have to wait and see.
I just wish they put more info out. Like they're very vague. Like up to 9-year battery life. Okay, is that in number 1 setting? I'm assuming that's on number 1 setting with the battery saver feature running. Like. And for those of you who've not used a red dot before and are living under a rock, number 1 setting is pretty much unusable unless you have night vision on.
Well, see, and I
want to know realistically
specify if it is night vision compatible either.
Okay, so I have a red dot. Well, I have a red dot that's not night vision compatible. When I put it on number 1, unless it's absolutely pitch dark and I cannot identify what I'm shooting at, or I'm wearing night vision, there's no way to see the dot. So they can call that visible, but it's not. So if I can't see what I'm shooting at, I can't shoot. That's one of the cardinal firearm rules of safety, right? Like you have to identify your target. So, and if I can't, then I need to use white light. And once I use white light, that's going to wash out that number 1 dot. So, and not only that, there's just nothing here. Like I'm looking on their website and
yeah, I know.
There's nothing. Like it's very vague. This could be any. I'm looking at it. Could be any number of sites just by looking at what they put. So I don't want to trash it, but I'm not going to praise it either because I don't know anything about it. You know.
I do like that they put a quick disconnect mount on it. I mean, typically you don't care about that, and especially with this style red dot, because if you're running like backup irons and something happens to the sight, you're just looking through it, unless you destroy it. But
unless you shatter the glass and it doesn't actually shatter out. And I mean, we could go 1,000,001 what ifs, but
I think
but
that's
the thing
exactly.
Is with the QD mount, you can just flip the QD mount off and rip it off the gun and still run with your irons. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to withhold judgment until I see it in the wild.
I wanted to put one of their micro little other red dots in here, but my son was complaining that I was complaining too much about it.
Now, their pistol sight. I'm more interested in the pistol sight because
and here's the reason I didn't put it in there, because I looked at it and I'm like, okay, maybe I can save it for later. And I'm like, yeah, I'll put this one in. But their pistol sights, as they said, use an industry standard mounting. What do you think when you hear that?
Trijicon RMR is what I would think.
It's not.
Yeah.
Oh, well then it's not industry standard.
That's exactly what I was complaining about. I'm like looking at all of them. They have like 2 or 3 different options. I'm like, industry standing? No, this is not industry standard, because I think RMR. I mean, even Holosuns have an RMR mount.
Yeah, even Holosun's like, hey, bro, we're gonna mount our stuff just like you, because we may not be quite as good, but we're gonna make sure people can use us as easy.
So there is that, but that's on a.
But I am more interested. I am more interested in the pistol sight though, because I really want to see the pistol red dot market get shooken up. I think Holosun has done that. I think Vortex tried to do that with a swing and a miss, and I would like to see more companies, because right now, honestly, it's RMR or bust. I would like to see more companies, so that drives the price down, so poor people like me can actually afford to buy a pistol.
If it makes you feel any better, just Saturday, Holosuns.
I saw your Instagram. Oh, yeah, son of a...
Hey, I have to send it back or buy it, but it is mounted up. So, we'll run it for a while and see if we can get it to lose 0 or something.
That's a promising sight.
It is a promising sight from everything I've heard.
I watched a Sage Dynamics review on it, and he dropped it from shoulder height like 3 times, and even cracked the glass, and still held 0. And it cracked the glass on like the 3rd drop from shoulder height directly on the body, and like bent the frame and everything, but the dot was still visible, and it was still on 0. And I'm like, hey, what you got, Trijicon? What's going on?
And that's the thing, is in they're half the price of the Trijicon.
Exactly. And that's why I want to see more manufacturers come to.
Well,
so Crimson Trace got one, so hopefully it's robust, but I just.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Okay. Well, now that we're done asking Crimson Trace if they can, send me one, or, wait, I can just drive up there and pick it up if they want to get me one. So,
you know what? We didn't actually. I don't think we really trashed anything this episode.
No, we didn't. I mean, there's amazing. There's nothing really. I mean, like you said, until you saw the Instagram of the Forge stuff, you were like, okay, they make some cool stuff.
I wish they do with this the red dot sight here is give you a low profile mount. So if you want to throw it on top of like a Ruger 1022 or something small like that.
You can't yank that mount off and direct mount it?
Oh, no, it looks like it's more of a...
you know what? You're right. I don't think you can. Yeah, because I would like to put it on a shotgun.
Yeah.
So with those low recoil loads, you don't need a freaking sight. You just use your dang beat up.
One of their little pistol style sights that they're making for you, Zane.
Yeah.
One of them that they're offering has a pick rail instead of the standard mounting.
So that would go on a shotgun.
Right. I'm going to completely go off target here.
Let's do it.
Zane freezes. The Holosun 507 that they sent. It also, even though it's got an RMR style mount, it also comes with a pick rail mount. So there is that plus. So if you wanted to mount it on a shotgun or a 1022 or something, you could.
I'm going to get one of those. I'm going to get one of those Holosuns.
You need to, and I'm too impressed with it. Besides, if it holds up, but it still has the solar panel in it, so you can run it on the solar, right?
I'll break that.
Oh, we're talking Holosuns now, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we switched gears. We're done with Crimson.
You can run. It runs a dot. It'll run a circle dot or just the circle. It also has auto off, shake to awake. So I don't think.
So do I. Funny enough.
The only drawback I found with it so far, having it like 3 days, is that the battery, you have to take the side off to get to the battery.
You have to do that with an RMR too.
I know, but I'm just saying.
So yeah, I want to get one of those, but I mean, I'll check out this Crimson Trace one too. I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
I want to see that market get shook up because I really think red dots on pistols are the future, and not even necessarily the future. I think it's almost a present at this point. Because I mean, there's still some old dudes who won't put red dots on the rifles because electronics fail or whatever. And it's like, I've seen more iron sights fling off of pistols than anyways, I'm not. There was a great meme floating on earlier.
Okay. Yep. Well, we actually just came in today, have some listener feedback. It came in via email. So it's from Sean E. It says, I really enjoy the show, especially the banter back and forth. It is similar to what we do when some gun friends and I get together and play cards. Somehow I got a Kimber card deck. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I like the laid back feel, the opinions, and of course, the joking around you do with one another. Thanks for the program. So we appreciate
thank you,
that.
Sean.
Yes.
Thank you, Sean.
I figured I'd put it in here. It's good feedback. I like it. I like any feedback, actually. And since Tony is in the BFE of somewhere, we will do his Second Is for Everyone diversity shoot for him.
Yeah, the next Second Is for Everyone diversity shoot is Thursday, December 6th at Gun for Hire Range in Woodland Park, New Jersey. Tickets are available at Eventbrite, and you can go to Simon Says Train on Instagram or Facebook to find out more.
Or Second Is for Everyone. Or
the Second Is for Everyone, or 2A4E, or Tony Simon, or, you know, he gets booted from Facebook so much, he's got to have like 12 different accounts. He can just keep rotating them.
Yeah, I think that's
stop trolling the internet, Tony. I'm just playing. But no, seriously, if you're in the area and you're curious about guns, you should go check it out because they're
have fun. Go check it out.
The thing is, like, it doesn't matter, what color your skin is, what gender you are, who you choose to take into your bedroom. If you like guns, you're cool with us, and you're cool with Tony, and we welcome you into our little group. So go check it out because the Second Is for Everyone.
That's right. There's no stipulations on it.
That's right.
Yep. So send questions, comments, or feedback to us at gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe, and you can leave us an iTunes review. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network, like the Off-Road podcast that Zane is so happy about. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. Check us out on Facebook at Facebook.com/Firearms Insider. Follow us at Firearms Insider on Instagram. And we are not the largest pound for pound podcast tonight, so we are out.
Bye, Felicia.